Yeah. Okay. Welcome to the round table. I am Jennifer Eller, and we have my co-host, Mike Hill, here with us today. And then we have Terry and Diane Brumbaugh as our guests.
Yay. Do you ever worry, like, when you're going to introduce somebody, you'd forget their name?
That's why I asked them.
No,
so
I know.
did it.
But even after you ask somebody, do you ever have that, like, oh,
No, I
it's,
remember names.
Huh?
I remember names.
Do you ever have
don't.
that problem?
Oh.
Yes,
Yeah.
I can't remember names. I can remember the face, but it's the name that I
Yeah.
always.
I mean,
I
even
might
after
remember the first name, but I can never remember the last name.
even after seeing somebody for a
Yes.
while. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
because I'm not too abnormal. I'm like, I've seen you 100 times. I forget your name. But it'll all come back.
It does happen to me, though.
See?
Yeah, on
Nick, are you
yeah.
a good name guy? No. What's your go-to if you forget the person's name?
Buddy. He's called me Buddy before.
You just gave it away. So anybody that Nick's like, what's up, buddy?
I call him Elf.
I can guarantee there will be somebody on Sunday that'll say that to you. Because
Yeah.
someone came on Sunday and said, "Hi, Jenny," with an I. And I said, "Thank you for watching the podcast."
Yeah,
so
see?
here you go, Clayton. You can go get.
Yeah, anytime we're going to revert back to your olden days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Please don't. We're in the present, right? Don't think of the past. We're in the present.
No, I know,
and the
but
future,
you
so
don't
I'm not
have some like this whole season of Thanksgiving and stuff doesn't make you like reminisce about your childhood.
No, not really. But we're here to talk about Terry and Diane
No,
today.
I
not me.
know, but that was kind of a whole part. Did you guys have Thanksgiving? Thanksgiving was last week, wasn't it?
Almost 2 weeks ago.
Was it really?
Thursday to be 2 weeks.
Oh my gosh! And we didn't even talk about Thanksgiving.
I guess we're not thankful for
I was thinking about it today. I was like, I wonder if we talked about Thanksgiving. Do you have a Thanksgiving tradition?
We eat lots of food.
Okay.
That's pretty much
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
No. Do you put it like your Christmas? Oh no, that's because you.
I put my Christmas tree up like November 1st this year. Because
Okay.
we're leaving Thursday in a couple days
Right.
to head to Florida for 4 months. So the Christmas tree came down about 3 or 4 days after Thanksgiving.
After but it was up for
It
Thanksgiving.
was up for Thanksgiving.
Do you have
because-
yours up for Thanksgiving?
No,
No.
but it got down that night,
Okay.
so I put it up that night.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. When our youngest, when we still had kids, he was born December 2nd. So we always made a point never to have the Christmas tree up for his birthday because we wanted his birthday to be his birthday
Yeah.
and not related.
Yeah.
You know.
It's such a ripoff.
Yeah.
You have to buy him Christmas gifts and birthday
Yes,
gifts.
exactly.
Jeez, it's
My
too.
birthday lands on Thanksgiving.
Huh?
My birthday lands on Thanksgiving
Yeah.
every 7 years. So, yeah, so a year ago it was on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And, you know, people come in.
What'd you
"Happy
say?
Thanksgiving,
Every
happy-"
what?
Every
Seven
7
years.
Yeah. So this year it was on Black Friday. It was on Friday. So in 6 more years it'll be on Thanksgiving again.
Huh.
Yeah.
Guess
So,
I never
and the
thought of-
birthday's kind of an afterthought at that time. Happy Thanksgiving, and then at the end of the happy
birthday.
birthday. Yeah.
You didn't think that, Jennifer, you gave me a look like that's a ripoff? As a parent, you have to buy gifts like that close together?
Well, maybe that close together, but you're going to have to buy him a gift sometime during the year. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm just thankful that it's Thanksgiving and not Christmas, because Christmas babies every Christmas.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
Yeah.
every 25th.
True.
Yeah.
So are you guys big gift givers? Like, do you love to buy gifts? Are you parents that still buy gifts for your adult children?
We do, but our adult children are to the point in life where if they see something, they just buy it.
So there's nothing to get them
So
anymore.
there's nothing we can really do special for them. we usually have to ask them, what would you like to have? Well, I don't know. I really don't need anything.
Yeah.
So we look for unique things
Okay.
for them.
So you guys like the gift giving?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Love to buy for the grandkids. We used to do the Black Friday shopping when the
Okay.
kids were little. We'd
You
go
went
down-
out like in the middle of the night when it used to be that
the
way?
Stores,
No.
Back then, the stores weren't open. You know,
Okay.
they opened at 8 or 9 o'clock, and we'd go maybe 10 o'clock-ish or whatever and fight those crowds. But the older we get, no, we
Yeah.
avoid Black Friday. We online shopping. I get a list, and it's like, click,
So,
that's ordered.
so the Amazon guy knows you really
Oh,
well.
yeah.
They do know us pretty well. We are Prime members.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny to see them. Because you forget, like 2-3 years ago, there's no Amazon trucks anywhere.
yeah.
Now you see them pulling up to people's houses.
Constantly.
They're
Like
more popular than UPS and FedEx almost.
Yeah. And I just wonder, like for UPS, how that, if that did or didn't hurt their business. I mean, that's a whole nother subject, but my gosh.
Does anybody attend church here that drives a UPS truck?
Well, my son, Corbin, one of the boys, he was a UPS driver.
Oh.
And then they moved to Arizona, and I guess never even asked him, but I don't know. He would probably be happy because he hated this time of year. He's like, you got all these people ordering these little trinkets. You show up at their house for a box. It's like this big,
Exactly.
and you get out of your truck and have to run it, all the way up
in
there.
this weather. And,
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about you guys. Things you like, things you love to do. Are you guys book readers, TV watchers, movies?
I like to do a lot of different things, probably more so than Diane. Obviously, I play guitar. I like to do woodworking.
Do you really?
Yeah, I have a woodworking shop in the back, and I just recently bought a big scroll saw to do some other scroll work. And
So do you like make furniture? Do you make a
I don't
table?
really make
Do
furniture.
you
I like
make-
to do smaller
Okay.
things. We just recently visited some friends of ours in Cincinnati that we hadn't seen in over 20 years.
Wow.
Okay.
You know, life gets away, and you know those friends you had, all of a sudden it's like, you know, we really haven't seen them for a long time, so let's go see them. So we was able to do that a few weeks ago, and had a great time with him, and he started showing me some of the work that he's been doing. He's 82 years old,
Oh, wow.
and
So are you a really patient guy?
on the
Like, I'm assuming that whole
most part.
woodworking stuff, like, you'd have to be,
He
like, you're not
is-
just out there, grinding it all
He
up.
is, but when it comes to waiting in line at a restaurant, he will not. He needs his food and he needs it now.
So if you pull up to a restaurant, it's a 20-minute wait. Do you just keep driving around?
sometimes we have. I can get hangry.
Yeah. Yeah. So woodworking projects.
Yes, I
Yeah.
like to do woodworking. Diane's favorite hobby in the summer is mowing the lawn. She loves to mow the lawn.
Really?
I love to mow.
Okay.
I'm on the mower. I was just on the mower last week again, mulching.
Nuh-uh. Last week.
Last week?
Yeah,
Oh,
and
yeah.
she'll probably do it before we leave here too.
I don't know. Yeah.
Sounds like Eric.
He-
Was
he's,
Eric out mowing?
he's ready to. Our neighbor across the road had more leaves to come down, so there's a lot in our yard. So he'll probably be out there this weekend.
It's
Yeah.
exactly how
Yeah.
I am. Our
Yeah.
neighbors' leaves. Our tree's been done for a while.
Yeah.
But it's all the neighbors' leaves and.
And so you have to just mow just for the leaves?
I mulch them. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Then mulch.
Need to up your game.
No, I know Sarah is now taking over all the mowing, so I
Oh.
barely ever mow anymore.
Oh, I
so.
love to mow. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's like 2 acres out there, so she's got a lot of mowing to do.
Yeah, we have a zero-turn mower, so she's out there. You know, she can just zip.
Are you
left and
listening? Like, do you have your headphones on? Do you
No.
nothing? Do you don't like
No.
listen
Right.
to
Puts
anything?
earplugs in to
I put
muffle the sound.
earplugs in to muffle the sound.
So you're
but,
just out there
I'm
thinking.
just out
And,
enjoying nature and just
okay.
yeah.
Do you guys read? Do you watch movies?
I will read in the wintertime.
Okay.
I'm not much of a reader, in the summertime. But when we're down in Florida, besides walking and riding bikes and doing day trips and stuff,
Okay.
or being involved, with some activities at the RV park, I'll sit out and read.
Okay.
Don't ask me any authors.
Oh, that's okay. I mean, are you a
Yeah.
fiction, nonfiction?
I read some biographies.
Okay.
Last year, a friend of our son in Florida, a friend of his, told us about a book called, is it Breathe?
Breathe.
Or Breathe.
Breathe, I believe it is.
And it's about breathing techniques.
Yeah.
And very interesting on that. And I have to admit, I've been a mouth breather a long time. And the pros and cons of mouth breathing is just awful, and the illnesses you can. So I read, that was my one book.
Did
I
you get all the way
read.
through it?
Interesting.
I'm
Oh,
gonna have to
yeah.
read it. I just read a book on this guy that does biohacks. They're called biohacks,
Okay.
and so they're things that you can do with your body, and breathing was one of them. So they have this whole like breathing exercise thing that you go through, and he was talking about the same things.
They have
of
similar things in it.
how you can do certain breathing to release certain things in the brain and be able to think more clearly, and like it was amazing. I was
And
surprised.
this author had trained some athletes, Olympians, how to do everything with your mouth closed, and
Right.
how they couldn't run before with the open mouth. And yeah, it was just really interesting read.
Yeah,
So-
he said if you go through this, like if you struggle on the treadmill or if you struggle walking or if you struggle, like he's done with Michael Phelps, like part of the development, some of these high level athletes, is like the difference in your stamina, the difference in your blood, because he was saying your blood oxygen level can be up, but the whole I don't know what the whole theory of it is, but I thought it was pretty amazing.
I thought
like
it was interesting too.
Yeah, the little things that you can do.
Yeah. And with Terry having, his upper lobe removed several years ago, Adam's friend thought, this would be a great book for Terry to read. Well, I wound up reading. You've only read.
Did you
it.
try
I only
any of
got
them?
through the first chapter, so. But Diane's doing it because Diane now tapes her mouth to sleep at night.
Okay, you don't have to.
Do you really? That's a good idea. Do you really?
Yeah,
Yeah. And
Wow.
I sleep so much better.
yeah, it's
I
amazing.
really do.
Man, I wonder if I can do that without ruining my beard because
Oh, that would be painful.
Probably
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
What kind of tape do
Yeah.
you use?
It's a medical tape. It's not real
okay.
adhesive.
Yeah.
But yeah. So
Then you probably could.
I even tried. They make chin straps. I'm really telling our
oh,
private
why
number.
not? This stuff's
Yeah,
good.
But the chin strap to put around, and I just get too hot with that around me.
Yeah,
But yeah, it
That's
makes-
what he said.
I
Like if you can
sleep-
figure out how to not breathe through your mouth at night, he
I
says
sleep
your sleep will
so
be
much better.
completely
Yeah, and I have
different.
a sleep apnea machine, so that forces me to breathe with my mouth closed.
Oh, really?
So-
That's what it does?
Yeah,
Oh,
because
I didn't know that.
if I open my mouth, it makes a really hissing sound. But as long as I keep my mouth closed, it's connected to my nose, and it helps me breathe. I sleep at night beautifully. I get a great night's sleep every night. And until Diane started taping her mouth, she really struggled at sleeping.
Huh. I'm doing it. I'm taping my mouth shut tonight. I'm gonna have this fear though, of like a.
Yeah.
Did it take you a while to get trained on
It
like?
did take a little while to get used to that. Yeah. 'cause
Yeah.
It's like, yeah. 'Cause,
You think you would panic?
Yeah, he calls me tape face. Good night, tape face. When we go to bed. So I don't know if you guys ever watch America's Got Talent. So there was a tape face guy one
Okay.
year. He had the duct tape and he made all these facial expressions. So yeah, sometimes he'll say tape face and then I give him one of those looks. He'll say, you look just like him. But no, I sleep so much better.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm
So
gonna try it.
That's my tip for everybody here.
Yeah.
that's
See,
listening to
look at all the
podcast.
wisdom that
Exactly.
you just gave.
Want a good night's sleep? Just tape.
Tape your mouth shut.
your mouth
Then when
shut.
you're ready to give your wife a kiss, put it back on at night.
I usually wait till after the kids.
Yeah, I give her a kiss, and then she tapes up.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
What's the matter,
Oh, my
Jennifer?
God.
This is good stuff.
Is this really going to air?
What about movies? Do you guys like movies?
Yeah, we enjoy movies. We usually go to most movies with the grandkids more than we do
Okay.
anything else.
Yeah. So it's not a.
There's a few that we've gone to see, but a lot of times we just really don't take the time because
Yeah.
we're doing so much other stuff.
Are you guys just like active a lot? So you're more of an active.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so. Especially in the summertime. In the
Right.
wintertime, we walk a lot. We have electric bikes. People will go, well, that's
Yes.
not bike riding.
I'm
But it
getting an
is.
electric bike. That's the way to do
It
it.
is. I mean, it's got the pedal assist, and it's just so much easier. Where we are in Florida is very hilly. It's not like Florida
Right.
like you think flatline. It's
Right.
very hilly. So walking in our RV park, we're halfway up the hill. So we start and we turn right and we go the rest of the hill, and then we're huffing and puffing, and then we come down and then we go up, back around. And it's about a mile, and we walk it once or twice a day, and then we ride our bikes. So we try to ride our bikes.
What are
Often
like
as
some
we
of the
can.
organized activities? Like being at a campground? Like I'm thinking of when we used to camp with the kids and they had all that cool stuff that you could do.
Yeah.
Do they do that in your?
Well, this is more for older people.
No, I know it's just adult games.
yeah,
Are there
it's
any
just-
like adult
They have
games
a
you can do?
calendar.
Yeah.
Huh? Not adult that way. No. Not,
We have
not adult.
participated in a
not
lot of activities.
Jennifer. Nobody else was thinking that but
Don't
you.
go to the gutter, okay?
I'm like, well, what do you mean adult games?
No.
Like
No.
croquet or
Or no.
I mean,
Bingo,
what?
cornhole,
Shuffleboard.
left, right, center.
That's why I'm like, what do
they
you
do
mean?
have a shuffleboard court
I
there,
love
and nobody
shuffleboard.
plays it.
Pickleball?
And when our grandkids
They don't
come,
have
we
pickleball. I've
play.
asked them to put pickleball in.
Okay.
Yeah, they haven't done that. There's a pool. I love to do water aerobics at parks that we've been at before. I do water aerobics all winter long. but they don't have it there. And now they have a new activity director this year. So
Okay.
I've even messaged and asked, would you consider that? Yeah, they play games you can tell them about the jam session.
Usually on Wednesdays they have what they call jam sessions. So anyone that plays an instrument, you can come down and we just jam. So
Yeah.
most of them are people who have been in groups,
Right.
and they're out of them. So, but they'll kind of go around the circle. They'll start with, like, if Jennifer's with her guitar, she'll just take off on a song, tell them what key it's in, and we just go for it.
Come on, Jennifer.
I would love to learn to.
And,
I'm sure I want to play the drums. Is what I want.
And then they sing, and then they get done with that. Then the next person goes. You just go around.
And most everybody plays country. Kiji.
So
Kiji.
so that would
They
be
play
your
country.
thing. Like if you could play anything, you'd be a country music singer.
Ask what what his repertoire is when it comes to him. What he
Yeah.
plays.
What's your genre?
Probably more country than anything.
Oh, you usually play the Beatles.
Well, I do a lot
Yeah.
of Beatles.
Yeah.
I do a lot of Beatles. I like the Beatles, so I play a lot of Beatles.
Okay.
Tommy James and the Shondells, some of the oldies, stuff like that. I really in more 50s, 60s than I am country, but
Do you ever rip out your electric guitar and like put some fake long hair on and just start jamming?
I do have a hat, kind of like you have, that has a ponytail on
Yeah.
it. and I'll wear that occasionally. Matter
Yeah.
of fact, it's in the RV.
Because you do play the electric some, right?
I do play electric.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
You just play some rock music.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you like
well,
any? Are
yeah.
you into any of that stuff?
Not into a lot of rock, but I do, like Eagles and things like that.
Oh, yeah.
I love those kind of guys.
Okay.
I'm more of a finger picking kind of guy. I like James Taylor.
Oh,
and things
do you
like
play the
that.
banjo?
Yes, I do.
Oh, I would love the banjo. Can you imagine me in some overalls? Right. Yes, that's what I'm saying. Me in some overalls and a little ding 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 ding.
Well, the greatest part about it, it's a G. It's tuned in the key of G. So
You're
you don't even
talking-
have to
I have
play,
no
you
idea
just
what you're even
strum it, and
talking
you're
about.
already playing in a key.
Yeah, I'm just looking about like it would just fit my personality, hillbilly-ish, and
Yes.
like I see those guys like ding 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 ding.
Yeah, it's 3 fingers.
That's how it works.
Yeah,
Okay.
thumb and 2 fingers.
Oh, I wish I could.
I wanna see
I
that.
wish I could do those kinds of things.
I'll bring it in for you. You can practice with it.
Or
if
you
want.
could just, you know what you could do? You could be like back there, and Nick could have you on a microphone, and I'll be here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I'll be like, and I'll have all my get up on.
Oh, I think that's an awesome idea.
Yes, yeah, we'll just
Yeah.
we'll
That'd be
fake
cool.
everybody
you
out.
could do a pretty good fake job. On it.
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody would know because who plays a banjo?
Yeah.
I mean, not very many people playing banjos, are there?
No, and that's the thing, especially for like church services. There's not that really many songs.
Oh, well, we're
that you
talking
can
to
play
Corinne.
in-
When
Yeah.
you're
for church
coming back,
services.
she's got 4 months to figure out how to get a banjo into the worship music. Nick?
Yeah, he's played the banjo at church before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's got to be some song the banjo fits in.
Yeah, there are some songs we did in another church that played, but I can't remember what the name
I
of it
can't
was.
remember. Yeah.
It had a
Oh, yeah.
banjo in it. It wasn't the primary instrument. but
We'll just make
you
it,
could hear
yeah, Cowboy Sunday or something, or Hillbilly Sunday. I've always wanted an excuse. Like, I try to make excuses up for certain things so I can wear certain things.
Oh, sure.
So we just need to do a Hillbilly Hicks Sunday so I can wear my bib overalls to church.
That'd be cool.
My little white T-shirt, bib overalls.
A little different flavor.
Yeah, so I was thinking.
That might be a little bit of a mixed genre, but yeah. All right, so tell us a little bit about your life growing up around here. Grow up in a church. Tell us a little bit about your.
I grew up in the big town of Bippus.
Did you really? Okay.
Yep. I'm a Bippus alum. Went to
Okay.
elementary school there.
I didn't know they had an elementary
They had
there.
an elementary school. I mean,
Wow.
we're talking long. I've been out of school 50 years.
Okay.
So this was a long time ago. Graduated from Huntington North High School. I did not go to college. I started working right away, and I've worked at several different jobs. Pathfinder was probably my longest job. I started in as a receptionist because I kind of have one of those personalities. That
Is it the office here? Was there another office
no, it
somewhere
was down
else?
the street.
Yeah, right.
And there is one up north of town.
That's what I thought. I
But
thought
yeah,
there was
I
one
was
up
down on
north.
State Street.
Okay.
And I was then became the assistant to the executive director there. I just felt like I was kind of stagnant in that job, and saw a job. We talked about Peabody a little bit ago, and went over to North Manchester and worked there for several years. And because of some circumstances, some jobs were eliminated. And then I worked at our Sunday Visitor for about
really?
12 years, and worked
You're
there.
well traveled.
I'm well traveled. Yeah. I was the event coordinator there. So, and I
Okay.
told Jennifer that I used to plan events and conferences throughout the United States.
Wow.
So budgets happen sometimes, and jobs are eliminated. And my last job that I worked at was at United Way, and I was there close to 5 years. So, but I've been retired for 4 or 5 years now.
Did you grow up in the church? So that
I
whole
grew up in-
family was in the church.
Family was
and
in the church. We went to a little country church in Wabash County, just 2 miles west of Bippus.
Okay.
And Salem United Methodist Church, and went there all my life. Met Terry.
So you guys met at church or
At church.
No,
Yeah.
well, not
Well,
kind of, sort of.
Yeah, kind of, sort of.
Yeah, yeah. So you could.
Our first date was I invited her to a revival service.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you grew up around here too?
Yeah, I was born and raised here in Huntington,
Okay.
and went to Huntington North High School.
So you guys were together in high school?
No.
No, she's older than I am.
Okay.
Oh, that's right.
Sorry to bring that up.
I'm slightly older than he is, but
So
yeah,
she
I
was
didn't know
already
him
out
in
of
high
school.
school. Yeah. So, but no, my sister and brother-in-law. My sister married somebody that went to his church, and so they went there. And every now and then, I'd go and visit them at church. And so he saw me and said, "I really."
It was
wanna
love
ask
at
you-"
first sight.
Yeah.
Kind of that way, yeah.
Aww.
So so he called me, and I had dated somebody in the past, but his family didn't attend church, and that was really important to me. He went to church with me, but he would sit there and he'd just fidget, and we talked about it. We were in love, we thought, with each other, back in the day, and we'd break up mainly because he didn't go to church, and we'd get back together, and some of my uncles never went to church, but my mom and dad both did. And I didn't want to have that uncle that only went to church on Christmas and Easter. And so we finally broke up. I didn't date for a while. And then he called, and we went to revival service. And
Did you date for a while? Do you remember your first date?
revival service.
Revival service.
Yeah, what'd you do? I mean, you just went there and then
We
went
just
home?
went for the service, and
Yeah.
I think I took her home
Okay.
because I had to drive all the way out to Bippus.
Because you lived here in town?
I lived in town, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I lived up by the university.
Okay. So how long did you guys date?
We were married 6 months and 3 days from the first date.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's the way to do it.
And we've been married 45 years.
Wow.
They call me Quick Draw Brumbaugh.
Well, hey, when you know, you know,
Yeah.
right?
Our
Yeah.
first date was May 7th. He asked me to marry him on July 22nd. And we had just gone through the blizzard of 78.
Oh, wow.
And
I even remember
always
that as a
wanted,
kid.
a summer wedding. People want June weddings. And he said, I don't care when we get married, but I don't want to spend another cold winter alone. So we got married on
Look at
November-
this. Listen up, guys. Huh? The romantic quick draw Brumbaugh.
We
He's got the words.
Yeah. We got married on November 10th. So we just recently celebrated 45 years.
That is
Amazing.
awesome.
And you have a saying, though, that you say that.
Well, sometimes I'll say 20 of them were good.
Well, this is so. Did you have? So now the new thing is everybody does these special, like you have to do a special engagement. Like while you ask them, did you do anything like super special?
No, I think I just asked her. I don't remember where I asked you at.
Well, I remember you asking my dad. We were at the lake cottage
Okay, yeah.
then, and you asked my dad.
I
Yeah,
asked.
and it was just, nothing.
Do you think
Yeah.
people still do that? Do you think people
They
still
have
go
to do
ask the
something- I
dad?
think they have to do something special.
I think on the most part, a lot of them still go
Still
ask
go
the
ask the
father
dad.
if he's available, But nowadays there's
There are
a lot
not
of-
very many dads.
There's not many dads around.
Did Eric do something special? Like you guys-
We went. He proposed at Sunken Gardens.
Oh.
Before he proposed, he threw up in the bathroom.
Eric, he was that nervous.
But we went. So we went on July 2nd. And we bought my ring, and so it was July 6th. So he already knew I was there. I picked it. I picked it.
You picked out your own ring.
I picked out my own ring.
Okay.
And yeah, we had to have a conversation a few days before because he wasn't giving it to me, and he was showing all his family. And I said, you know, like that dually you want. What if it was in the truck in the garage? And I said, you can't drive it. That's how I feel with a ring, and it's not on my finger. It should be on my finger.
Way
and
to
I'm
put
showing
it there.
people.
Put him in his
Yeah,
place,
I did.
Jennifer. No wonder he
So-
threw up. I mean, hey, you're like a dually, Eric. You know?
So it wasn't anything
Yeah.
over the top, but yeah.
Yeah, but
He
it
did
was at
ask,
least
he did
there.
ask my dad too. So
Yeah.
you know, so
I did it in an arcade in a movie theater.
well,
My kids still make fun of me to this day. They're like, yeah.
whatever works.
Well, it never got better. Then when I asked Sarah, it was like, went in, picked out the ring, and I handed it to her and said, will you marry me? So it just got worse. Arcade into a, yeah.
the jewelry
Yes,
store.
in the jewelry store. But so if you guys, so let's just talk about marriage for a second, because I think one of the things that is a common issue today in our culture is just good, thriving marriages, right? That because you said it jokingly, but it's probably true with most of our marriages. It takes some, you go through some
work.
patches, right? Like,
It's a lot of work.
yeah, that's what I mean. Like, there are patches through your marriage where you just fight for it. Like, you fight through. So, if you guys could, talk to, the audience and say, you've been married 45 years. You guys have went through, when we met the other day, you guys have been through. It's not like everything was roses, in your life. Like, you guys have been
And
through.
it's still not always roses.
Yeah.
Right. That's what I mean. So if you could give people advice when it comes to marriage, like what would be one thing that you would say to guys or to young ladies to say, like, these are some things that are important when it comes to having a good marriage?
I guess I would say that God needs to be first
Hmm.
in your marriage. We just recently went through Lance and Mary Clark's the marriage
Oh,
class. Even 45 years, we went through it.
Yeah.
And it was great listening. And I can't remember Chan. I forget
Princess
who-
Chan.
Yes. Yeah. They were amazing. We really enjoyed that, and we still learned stuff.
Yeah.
We read the book together. It's not like he read it and then I read it. We would read it together. And so I think it has to be a give and take, obviously, and you're constantly learning. You're still learning, even after 45 years.
Right.
You're still learning new things. So
Yeah.
And we try not to go to bed on a sour note. If we are upset with each other, we try and work it out before we go to bed
Right.
and say, I love you every day.
Right. Yeah. What about raising kids? Talk about raising kids. Because again, you guys, you got it done, right? And I think that's for all of us. We get to the end and like we made it, we got to the end of it. So can you talk about to some young parents, Terry said it earlier, like, the challenges of not having a father in the home and some of those things. So to the fathers that are there, would you give them advice in, raising kids, like things that, you would, that you could give as nuggets of wisdom in raising children?
I don't know if I'm very wise to be able to give nuggets.
This is a good question. Do you think any parent thinks they did it completely right?
Oh heavens!
no.
If
That
they-
is my
If they're
point.
due, they're lying
No.
because they're
Right.
they,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's a learning experience.
Oh, yeah.
From the day one that they're born all the way up through, you're learning. There's not a book that tells you, okay, if they cry, this is what it is.
Yeah,
Right.
or
Or if
this
they
child is going to turn out this way
Yeah.
or do this or whatever.
Right.
Yeah,
We had two boys, and boys are different than raising girls.
Yeah.
So we have no idea what it'd be like raising girls
Yeah.
until our son had a granddaughter. Then we see differences there
Right.
that with our grandkids.
yeah.
Right.
And I always thought I wanted girls, but my goodness, I love my boys. To this day, when they call, whose phone number do they call? They always call mom.
They call
They
Diane
call-
almost every day, even
Yeah.
as adult kids.
Yeah.
Aw.
Yeah, and that that's neat to have your kids call you. Christopher's here in town, and he has a family, a 10-year-old boy and a 6-year-old girl, and Brittany, and then our son Adam. So before I go further
Yeah.
with that, we had challenges. Christopher, he was kind of the ornery one, and I always told Terry, he's going to be the death of me. He's just going to be
Yes.
the death of me. And he wanted to have his ear pierced. And I remember going to get my hair cut one time, and I had gone to this beautician for years, and she knew him, and she said, Diane, you know, what's the big deal? You know, the hole would all, and it's like, well, yeah, you're right. And, you know, and he loves the color yellow. He wanted his bedroom bright yellow, and it's like, we can always repaint.
Yep.
So, you know, you just kind of give and take. And,
Right.
you know, he grew up to be, you know, he's this amazing Christian man. Dad, he was in the Attaboy Boy for 8 years. I played bass guitar.
Is
and
Attaboy still around?
They're still
Yes.
around.
Are they really?
Yep,
We still
they're
have one
around.
original member. That's still
Really?
there, yes.
Yep.
Huh.
So, and then our oldest son, I mean, he was musically inclined. He was in marching band, and
So does he still play an instrument too? Because you're,
He
one
plays
son's
piano.
drummer.
Yeah.
Our oldest
Yeah.
boy plays piano.
yeah, Christopher
wow.
still plays bass guitar, and he plays drums.
Okay.
now. Our oldest son took piano lessons. He plays piano.
Are you musically talented too?
I play the piano.
Okay.
I'm not well anymore. I mean, I
Okay.
haven't played for a while.
Yeah. So I didn't mean to
no,
interrupt
no,
you. I was
no,
like,
no,
wow,
no,
you guys
no,
are like,
that's okay.
you could have a whole band.
So
now
then,
that your
yeah.
house.
Yeah.
So then Adam, he now lives in Florida. He wanted to be an airline pilot. So he went down to Comair Aviation Academy. While he was there, he was actually helping a friend move back to Missouri, and he was involved in a major accident where a semi ran over the back of their car. So like where the back of my seat is, the whole car was
They showed me a
Wow.
picture of it. I
Showed you
was
a
like, it doesn't
Yeah.
even look like a car.
No, it
Yeah.
didn't.
It was like, and I was saying, can you imagine getting that call?
Yeah. And then, you know, during that time while I stayed with him in the hospital, and Terry kind of went back and forth. This was in Springfield, Missouri, so we were 12 hours away. And I found out and learned by what he was saying, because he was on, you know, some morphine for pain. He had a fractured pelvis, and, you know, God saved him. When this semi was coming at them head on, they had hydroplaned. He cried out what my mom always said, God be with us. And the car spun around, and instead of hitting them head on, which would not have been a good outcome, it
Right.
flattened their car. So, you know, we're very thankful for that. But during that time, we found out that Adam was gay. And that was a struggle for us, you know, as parents, me especially. I went through a state of depression, and, you know, he came home to recuperate for a month. And I would always leave scriptures on the bed for him, and you know, and so Terry would say, you know, Diane, you have to get over it. You just have to. Well, you know how women are. We don't get over it. You know,
Oh, I don't. I
You know
do.
how women are.
You are by yourself.
a lot of women. You know,
No,
they
I
have,
know.
you know, where a man can shrug it off, and you know, they want to fix it and just be done with it. And then,
So can we talk about that just for a second?
Sure.
Because I think this is so you guys grew up in a church, you're in the church, right? So how did you feel like, and you don't have to go into detail, but how was the response of the church? Like to, hey, you know, your son's gay. Was it a good response? Was it no response? Was it hard? You know, I just, you know what I mean? Because it is a subject that
Yeah.
some people choose just not to talk
with
about.
him living in Florida, and then he was home for a month. It was, you know, we were embarrassed at first.
You know, you
like,
think as parents,
what did
what
we
did we do wrong?
Yeah.
And
what are our friends? I mean, what are our friends going to
yeah,
think?
what are our friends going to think
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
they hear that
Yeah.
our son is gay? We didn't raise him
Yeah.
that way, but
Right.
he's gay.
Right.
And there were some people in the church that we
Yeah, and I
thought we
get-
were
yeah.
close to that shunned us.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it's like, well, they have a gay son, and, you know, that's a sin. And so, you know, it's like, well, they weren't our as best, closest
You
friends
find
as we
out who
thought.
your friends are.
Exactly.
In
Yeah.
situations like
Yeah.
that, you know, you really find out who.
Yeah. So I eventually came around. I mean, I had a hard time. And my best friend finally said to me one time, Diane, isn't he the same son that you raised? And I said, yeah. Has he changed at all? No, he hasn't changed at all. You know, so what is different besides that? You know, he's your
Right.
same boy. And it's like, you know, you're right. Because if anybody could pick out the Mother's Day card to send to you, you know, he would send that perfect card. And he continued to do that no matter how I felt like I wasn't loving him at my best during that time. So, and this has been 20 some years.
Oh, was it
Yes.
that long
Yeah,
ago?
yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
So, Yeah. So he got married. He met a guy, and they got married. Got married in Canada because they weren't allowed to marry in Florida.
Yeah,
and-
Florida, that's where they were.
Yeah,
at,
in Florida.
Yeah.
So we were invited, and Terry said, "I'm not going."
I just, the man in me just couldn't go. I just felt like,
Yeah.
that I don't condone that, and I'm not going to go thinking that he thinks that I condone that.
Right.
You
Right.
know,
But the mom and me said, "I'm not going to do anything that I will ever regret."
Right.
And I went to Canada.
Right.
My best friend said, "You're not going alone. I'll go with you."
But I think that, I mean, before we just kind of like breeze over that, I mean, I think that's a lot of people's struggle, right?
Exactly.
So
it is.
But you know,
is loving somebody condoning something, right? Like that's this big, you know what I'm saying? That's the, is showing up at something condoning something, you know,
Right.
and whether it's homosexuality or anything. I mean, I think there's a lot of like, if you're around it, if you are nice to that, like I've heard even people talk about this, even if you're nice to that person, right? Or if you have that person over, you're condoning what they're doing. And I'm like, loving someone is not condoning anything, you know, but I get it. Like I can imagine that the internal struggle that would go through with,
oh yeah.
like, what does it show? What will people think? You know, like
Right.
all of that internal.
And we were worried what our parents would think. You know, my mom and dad, which I think my mom had died before then. She's been gone 18 years. When we told, and my dad went to their wedding reception in Florida, so you know he was fine with it.
Yeah.
But when we told his folks, his dad just could not accept it. And
It
finally,
took him a long time.
yeah.
Yeah.
It finally
And-
came around.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
because Terry told him, you know, Dad, if you want us, you know, if you still want him and your family, you're going to have to, you know, pretty much come around. And they did. They
Right.
did, yeah. Yeah. But he's been married now.
So is he an airline pilot? I must have missed that in when we were talking the other day.
Yeah, when he was in high school, he went to Huntington and learned how to be a
Huntington
pilot.
Airport,
Huntington
yeah.
Airport.
Seriously?
And he had his pilot license before he had his driver's license.
Yeah.
Wow.
'Cause
You,
get your
can
pilot
do
license
that?
at 15.
Yeah.
Yes.
That is
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
So, yep. So he soloed in January. We were out there to watch that. And it's like, you know, because anybody can take off. It's the landing, you know. To be honest, I could probably go up
Anybody
there.
can take off? I don't know. I don't know if that's true.
You
You
just
pull
pull
it
just
up.
pull it up and it's going to.
Yeah, so he flew. He wanted to be an airline pilot. He went down to Comair Aviation Academy and trained for that. And then you find out that as an airline pilot, then you start training once you get your license and all your ratings or whatever. You then become the instructor, and you know that's how you gain all your hours. And he applied at AirTran, I think it was. And at the time, they were only paying pilots like, and again, this was 18 years ago or so, about $20,000 a year.
What?
Hi.
These are the people flying our planes?
Exactly.
That was a
Think of-
co-pilot.
yeah.
But still.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean,
I
you're
thought these guys made
responsible for-
huge money.
No, I mean,
They
well,
should.
They do more now, but back then it wasn't.
Yeah, and even when he went to Comair, the admissions director or whatever said, you know, your goal then is to fly this airplane, you know, a 747 or whatever, making, you know, $300,000-$400,000 a year. But you know, that's a long time. You have to start.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, yeah. I
You don't
mean,
just jump into one of them big ones?
Well, when Adam
No.
said he wanted to be a pilot, we had just come back went to San Francisco on vacation, and I said, Adam, you're not going to learn how to fly one of these planes. You start in a little one. So, you know, we took him for a flight in a small plane, and he loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
And-
I just thought
yeah.
like you train and then you just go into big ones and train on them.
No, I mean, you have to have hours and hours and hours of training. Yeah.
I guess hundreds of people's lives might have something to do with that.
Exactly.
A little, yeah.
Hundreds of thousands of dollars as well on an aircraft.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
he came home for a couple years, and he actually taught flying lessons at Huntington. But then the weather here in Indiana, you know, like look at today, you know, it's foggy and stuff. You can't train every day. So he decided to go back to Florida and maybe do some flight training or whatever. And he got a job in the kind of the travel industry. And he loved it, stayed down there, but he has worked, I don't know, a long time, 15 years or so, at a flight school. And
So he's teaching people how to fly.
well, he
Not anymore.
started as
Yeah.
sales and then marketing, and now he's the vice president of the flight school. So he's
Wow.
doing, he does very well. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so let's talk about you guys' journey of faith together. So one of the other things that you guys have experienced, you know, so we have young listeners, we have, you know, people in between, guys, you know, families that are your age and our age. Are we this? How old are you?
I'm 66.
Okay, finally somebody older than me. Everybody else is usually, younger. Like I'm becoming the old man.
Oh, yeah,
Huh?
I know.
I know.
I'm like 3 months younger than you. I know. We're old.
You want to know what the other scary part about that is?
What?
All these people that are older than me, they still have black hair. Like they're mine.
What's wrong with that?
It's good. What happened to me? Like it's white. Ain't one thing on there that's
I still see dark hair.
no. Does it be Terry?
Well, the lights are
Usually he would say, at least you have it.
Oh, I'm like, I have aged like crap. I mean, all these other guys, still got. Yeah. Anyway, that's off the subject. Give us some wisdom personally. Like, how have you grown in your faith? What have been some big markers? So, small groups, mentors. Do you have influential people in your life? Like, what has helped you grow in your faith, or what have been some things that have helped you grow in your faith? Maybe individually and then together as a couple.
I can't think of anything significantly. Just having other friends, you know, some Bible studies we've been in over the years have helped in a lot of the growth. What would you say?
I mean, most times we have been either in a Sunday school class or a small group
Yeah.
where you have close relationships. The
Right.
small groups were with, I mean, we had left a church there, and so we really don't have friendships with them anymore, but we've got such a good, close group of friends now that are just really strong Christian people, too, that, you know, we hang out with. My class reunion was this past year, 50 years. I didn't go. I don't know it. I'm not friends with any
Right.
of them. You know, we have our friends that we hang out with, and it's like, why do I want to go spend an evening with somebody that I really don't know that much anymore? So we have really close friends. You know, we do devotional every day.
So do you guys do stuff together, or do you do it separately? Like, do you do your own like devotional life, or do you guys do stuff together?
We do it together.
You do.
We
Okay.
do it together. We read a devotion every day after lunch, and we pray together then. And we pray for a lot of friends on a prayer list with cancer.
Have
and
you
other
always
things like
done
that.
it together?
No, it probably hasn't been up until maybe 2 or 3 years ago that we actually started doing it on a regular basis. And I don't know what really triggered us to do that, but we've noticed a huge difference in our lives
Really?
by doing that.
Yeah, see, I've always heard that. Like, do you do it together?
No.
Nick, do you? No. Yeah. Like Sherry and I always had like separate devotional lives. We always read or always led separate groups. We would talk about spiritual things, and we would, but we never did. I mean, I guess I'm trying to think. I mean, other than praying for her, because she was always had something going on or talking
Yeah,
to.
but I just want to say, I think that's amazing because that's my heart's desire.
Yeah.
And so I think that's amazing. So kudos to you.
Yeah, I just think it's neat. You said it was such a change like that. That inspires me. Maybe I should be doing that. You know, because I do. I'm thinking I do my own. We're, you know, whether it was Sherry or Sarah, we're on different time things. Like
Sure.
I'm an early morning person. She likes to stay up, and so
Yeah.
finding that somewhere in between piece.
Yeah.
But I've always heard that of people saying there's something powerful about.
Doing it together.
And some of
Yeah.
the books that we've gone through, the one we had before the one we got right now,
Yeah.
it was a doctor.
Dr. Reggie Anderson.
Dr. Reggie
and the book
Anderson.
is like 10 years old.
But it's amazing. He has some unbelievable stories.
Very good.
Really?
book. It's green. I don't remember what the
Reggie
I don't-
Anderson.
Dr. Reggie Anderson,
Okay.
small town country doctor in Tennessee, and just his insight with patients and stuff, and what he And I'll never forget, it was either on the day that my mom died or her birthday. That devotion that day, it's like, whoa, this is perfect for that specific
Yeah,
day.
there have been some just
Oh,
like
yeah.
that.
Yeah, it's like, well, we really needed that today. One other thing that he started years ago, and I don't even remember how long, you know, we always go to church. And when it's prayer time, he always reaches over and holds my hand. So every prayer, he holds my hand. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Good job, you guys. I mean, I do. I just think it's special. I mean, that's,
Yeah.
you know, there are things that we forget how important that is.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
to be
Yeah.
able to,
Yeah.
as in a marriage, there's an intimacy, right? Like that's what they all talk about. Like there's an intimacy that happens spiritually, you know, that you can't reproduce,
Yeah.
you know, when it comes to even going out on dates,
Yeah.
you know, or having fun together. There's something about when you
Yeah.
pray together and do devotions together, there's an intimacy there that, so that's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So really, I mean, it's small groups, Sunday school, whatever it is, smaller groups of people that have helped you grow in
Yeah.
your faith, you know, triggered those things. And then
Yeah.
you guys challenging each other. I mean, it sounds like.
And there are many times I'd love to play guitar that I'll go into. I got an office in my house or our house, but it's also a music room.
Oh, wow.
And I a lot of times would just go in there and play for a couple hours just for myself. I like to do worship songs or all kinds of different things. And that is my quiet time with God because I get to play songs for him.
That's awesome. Yeah.
I have had a couple miracles that have happened during the course of my life. My mom died of a massive heart attack. It'll be 18 years in January. A year after she had died, to the date, we had a dog. And she got up at like 3:15 in the morning to go to the bathroom. And it's like, he was sound asleep. And I go out to the door where I let her out. And I heard music, and I'm thinking, who's playing music at this hour in the morning? I went out to the front door, didn't hear anything. Went out to the back door, heard this music. And then all of a sudden, the sky, it was really cloudy, just parted. And this bright light, it was just a streak of bright light. And I could hear this amazing music. And then all of a sudden it closed and the music stopped. Those were angels.
Wow.
So, yeah, that was really neat. It was, and I think it was my mom saying, "It's okay."
That's so cool. I am a complete believer in that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I think God, especially in times of tragedy, gives us glimpses of like,
Yeah.
they're okay.
Yeah.
I got it, you
Yeah.
know.
And then we've each been on mission trips. I've been to Honduras twice. He's been to Honduras twice. And then our kids were younger, so we didn't want to go and leave them. We wanted to at least have a parent if something happened.
Right.
And then it would have been 18 years ago that we went to Jamaica together.
Okay.
Because it was right after that my mom had died. And while we were in Jamaica, one of the things that we did, we worked with people, dental, eyeglass ministry, and one was washing kids' heads for lice. And so I wanted to work with the kids. So, another gal lady and I, we were washing heads. And we didn't speak Spanish. And that day we didn't have an interpreter. So it's okay. We weren't close to the church. We were several blocks away. And this was in very much a gang area. So they said, just be very careful. So this young man came up to us and he asked, "Do you need an interpreter?" And we said, "Well, yeah." And he said, "I'm not doing anything today." Okay. So we had a couple gang members come. We washed their heads and,
You did it with gang members?
Yeah. Just the way they looked, you could tell.
Oh, no.
They were rough,
I was just like, wow.
rough and tough.
Women?
And they're little kids, not
no.
teenagers.
These were big teenagers.
Teenagers, wow.
And we washed their head, and we talked about Jesus to them, and we went down to the church for lunch, and we invited our interpreter to come for lunch, and we go back in the afternoon, and we're still washing heads, and we were closing up shop. And we went to turn to thank the interpreter. He was literally standing right here I turned for a second. He was gone. And Barb said, "Where did he go?" He was nowhere around. So we know that was our angel that day
Wow.
protecting us.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So,
Those stories are,
yeah.
The
And
way
they're
that
chilling.
the way that God can work and the things that the things that he can do. So we're coming up on the end. So can you believe that? You're already almost an hour into it.
Crazy.
Well, so I want to say, I've said this to you guys personally, but I want to just again thank you because you guys coming. I mean, you've been here over a year, and it's just cool to see you guys get involved and to be able to be a part of what's happening. And we're just thankful. It was always something early on in the church. This is what we always prayed for, is because, in the beginning, when you plan a church, not very many people that are leader type and people that have been further along in their marriage or been further along in their faith. They don't, when you're starting, nobody really wants to be here,
Right.
then. And so to see you guys come and to stay, because it is work. I mean, we're still a church plant. I mean, we're still only
Definitely.
18 years old trying to get it figured out. And so people of, wisdom and people that have been there and been down that road, that you guys will invest, into the people of Life Church and just invest into what God's doing here. I'm super thankful for you guys. I've loved getting to know you, and I do. I mean, I look forward to, many years of being able to see what God will do and, the way he'll use you and just what things will become. And so, I'm super excited, and thank you for, everything that you guys have done. So parting words of wisdom? Anything?
Enjoy the winter.
Yeah. That is I was just waiting. I
We'll
was
be
hoping.
thinking about you.
Yeah, I was hoping you
We'll
would
be
say,
thinking.
yeah.
And it's nice because we're only about 45 minutes away from our kids down there. And so we get to love on that grandchild.
Yeah.
He's 12. One of these years, he's not going to want to hang out with
Yeah,
grandma
when he
and
becomes
grandpa.
a teenager, we probably won't get
Nope.
that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, don't miss a day.
For
That's
now,
right.
Don't miss a
yeah,
day.
so we like to be full-time grandma and grandpa down there.
Yep.
That doesn't mean that we don't miss our grandkids up here.
Sure.
Because we miss them terribly.
Right.
But it's the same when he's down there, miss him terribly. So, yeah.
Be a great
So,
opportunity.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
is.
good.
Yeah, yeah. And, we've really come to love the church, and we just are so challenged every Sunday. I mean, what God works through you, your messages, what he puts on your heart to preach, it's just, every Sunday it's like, whoa. Yeah. So thank
it
you
is.
for following the call
Oh, I
and doing
appreciate
what
that.
he wants you to do.
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right, Jennifer, you want to send us off?
Yep. So if you're not part of our podcast texting group, you can text the word podcast to 260-408-8383. Let us know if there's anything you want to have as a topic of conversation, or if you want to be on the podcast, or if you have anybody you want to recommend, we can reach out to them as well.
Yeah, and so as we're leaving, if you're watching, so don't forget, if you're watching on YouTube, we'd love for you guys to comment. So we'd love for you to leave a comment, be able to, maybe ask questions, just be able to engage. It gives us an opportunity to get the podcast out. If you're on Facebook, make sure that you share the link that goes out so that we can get it onto other people's pages. And you're going to have to wait 4 months to see them because they're taking off for Florida. But when they do come back, obviously come up, say hi, get to know, because they're just a great couple and we're thankful for everything that they're doing. So thanks for joining us. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.